If there's someone who says, I want to get on stage and I want to win,
what am I doing wrong? Sure, that plan could be great on paper,
but it's yourself that you're capable of.
What does long-term fitness success look like? Welcome to YasFit Pro. My goal is to help you stop restarting your journey and to actually figure out what works long-term. As a physique competitor, my approach changes a lot throughout the year. I want to show you why each phase matters and how it translates to real life. In this series, I'm sitting down with Meredith Perry, a wellness division athlete, coach, and gym owner, and we're getting into the reality of physique change, business, and what actually separates people who succeed from those who stay stuck in a loop. In this segment, we're focusing on lessons from prep, the stage, getting to it, and hopping off of it. If you're interested in this kind of content, follow me on Instagram at YasFitPro, subscribe to this channel, and make sure to comment below. This is a conversation after all. Let's get into it.
I did a 1-year party for the gym, and mind you, it was like not a great thanks for that. It was like planning it. I was like, oh, this is the last thing I need to do is plan a party. But I was kind of trying to keep a promise to myself when I opened the gym of before I opened it, just being so freaking scared. And that if there was a version of me that could say, we made it to 1 year, she would say, oh my God, have a party. You were open for a year. That's incredible. So I was doing it to honor her, even though like, at the time I was tired and, okay, I'm working on that next goal. It doesn't matter that I made it to 1 year, but I was like, stop. Like, we did a whole year. Just stop, try to celebrate it. So trying to give yourself a sec to be like, no, I did it.
Yeah, celebrating is so important and underutilized. Like that tool, it supports the learning process too, acknowledging yourself. But I find a lot of people are very stubborn about it, right? Because it's kind of this, did I earn it? Or did I earn enough to celebrate? But no, I can't celebrate because it's going to take away from pursuing this next goal. But if you don't take time to celebrate, what happens?
Yeah.
You kind of lose the meaning of it.
Yeah, or even I feel like people, like they want to get on stage one day and then they do. And then it's almost as if because they did it, it's not that cool anymore. They're like, if I can do it, it's not that hard. So they're like, okay, so I have to do something really hard then. And it was really hard. Like you did it. So let yourself be proud.
I want to switch to the reality of prep and bodybuilding versus what people see online. There are a couple angles we can use here. I want to start talking about maybe the first, like the definition of what a prep and what bodybuilding is, because I think I've also worked in a space that's very far removed from fitness, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. Whenever I told people I was doing a bodybuilding competition, it was either, oh, like you're doing like bodybuilding, or it's, oh, you're doing like a beauty pageant. It was very difficult for me to try to explain to people why I was doing it or what it was. My personal reason for doing it was always just being so inspired by people that had maybe not a visibly elite physique, or just they were considered unfit, having a vision to do something as elite as a bodybuilding competition, negating anything anyone might think or say, and just doing it and showing through their own action what is possible. To me, that is so important and so amazing. That's what drew me to bodybuilding. Yeah. I know people have different motivations for sure. Some people love the glam of it, but I guess we'll start with what is bodybuilding now, like today with Fit Model and Bikini, and how would you define it to someone that maybe just sees it as either a beauty pageant or some kind of muscle show and doesn't understand all the divisions? And we'll start there.
I think it's whatever you want it to be. I think some people it's, like it's their sport. Some people it's a goal. Defining it, I think you almost just have to not worry if people understand it, if that makes sense. Like it's hard to like.
It's pretty personal.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to define. And I think also like you can just let people think it's like a big, if you want to be a beauty pageant, it's a beauty pageant. If you want it to be like a bunch of muscle pooch, it's, I don't know. Does that make sense?
I mean, I like when people say it's an art.
Yeah.
Because you're sculpting, you're kind of molding things, you're designing programs, and you're tailoring it to the individual. So it is an art, and then you show that at the end. I think also people are getting more exposed to the world of bodybuilding. I found out about it through a YouTube documentary back in the day. It's gotten so much bigger on social media. I've heard people ask, would I even know about bodybuilding if I didn't have Instagram? Maybe not. Like it's not always visible beyond what we see. But then I worry a little bit about people that might not understand it from maybe a post about someone on show day and not really appreciate the lead up. Show days.
It's so different from the process. Like it couldn't be more different from what it actually is. Because you think powerlifting, the actual meet day looks like practice, right? Like they match. Whereas, first of all, posing alone, like we are doing things to our body that is not how we're cranking our spine. You would never lift a weight like that. You do not look particularly put together on prep because you're busy. Your free time is on the Stairmaster. So you have your hair done, your makeup done, you're in a suit that you don't wear for any reason except for show day. We drink so much water and then no water on show day. Like it's no relationship. So I get why people are like, do you like go lift weights up there or something? You're like, no, I just do my pose. Flex your muscle. I'm like, no, I don't even flex my muscles. Just twist my spine. So it's like, I really get why it's hard to understand.
Right. I love the powerlifting example. I hadn't ever thought about that. You are performing, but in a different way.
Yeah.
And powerlifters have incredible physiques, but the goal isn't physique based.
Yeah.
It's you need a capacity in your physique to execute that on your performance day, but you don't necessarily.
The worst performance nutrition ever for prep. Like if you wanted to go play a hockey game, you should not cut any carbs low, you know? So we're not strong at the end. We're not fast at the end. We're just pretty.
This is an important part too, because ego lifting has been something I've really had to get away from. And I still find myself on gym days when maybe the gym is busier, like I feed off of energy. So if like I have more energy, I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm just gonna add more weight. But then I have to remind myself like, no, it's okay. On stage, the judges do not care what weight you lifted. They do not care.
Yeah.
It's not a performance that day. It's how is the blood flow to that point? Or how was the quality? Did you target the correct muscles? Or did you target other muscles that maybe like, you know? So bodybuilders are not necessarily the most fit by and off season. That's where performance can be really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And probably shifting away from thinking about how one's physique looks and more celebrating wins of, hey, look how much more you can lift now, or, you know, food and finding
balance and enjoying the gym.
Yeah.
Because at the end, it's fun to be lean, but it's not like you don't have as much energy. So it's not as much fun to move when you don't have energy.
And it's hard to bring the energy on stage. For me, I never really appreciated how much sleep and water affects my energy. Bringing your energy is still so important because you do have to exude that vibrancy on stage. That's why practicing posing at the end, when you're tired, when you're not feeling like it, because you might be tired and depleted on show day.
And even to speak to that, like I'll talk to my clients about, there's tons of psychology, there's all the school and that stuff, but how to mentally peak, like trying to talk to my clients about like when you wake up in the morning on show day, like we want to be excited, but start slow. Like we want to go into that peak where when we're about to go on stage, you know, we'll keep it calm backstage, maybe some good music, put your headphones in, okay, put on that song that makes you feel like you're that girl, and then go on stage. And then if you have another show to do, right away start calming down. Like you can kind of see your family, take some pictures, but go lie down, go be alone, get back into that like parasympathetic so then we can peak you again. Because if you try to peak, if you're up at 3 a.m., you're gonna cognitively peak around 6, and then it's just down. So by the time you get on stage, especially the second show, you're like, I want to go home.
Right.
So
That makes so much sense, because I even remember for me, I looked a lot better the day before.
yeah.
And I think I was really stressed. I had a lot of pressure internally. I realized, oh my gosh, I'm not as conditioned. So there was a lot of that. And by the time I got on stage, I felt very watery, kind of flat. I didn't know how to peak myself, right? The parasympathetic thing, that's a good point, versus rushing around backstage, walking.
I did a ton of like sports performance, and there's way more support for wrestlers, for example, before a match on how to cognitively peak to be present and perform well and be on the ball when you go on stage. But there's not a lot of talk of that in bodybuilding, of like how to manage the cognitive and hormonal levels to make sure that you are peaking as you step on stage. So you're confident, you're secure, and then you gotta go back down into.
I don't think that's discussed.
Not in all other in hockey, big time, but not bodybuilding very much.
And it's kind of also that consistent environment. I don't watch a lot of hockey, but when we were watching the Olympics, Sev was just joking, with all the money in the Olympics, their change room looks very similar. Wooden benches, basic. And I said, I don't think it's because they didn't have the money. I think it's intentional. Because if you have a bunch of lounge chairs, it's a different, you need the same environment so that they can be primed to go in with the same way. But with stages and different shows, you can't always control the environment. You can only really control yourself. And so I think, especially with new competitors, they're kind of like freaking out. It's a lot of people, there's a lot going on, and do I go here? There's no kind of preparation for that parasympathetic cognitive ability to go and have a good experience and perform.
Yeah, to perform and be like thinking clearly.